Hey everybody, and welcome back to another lecture with Coding with Roby. And in this lecture, we're going to be creating our models.py file. Our models.py file is actually creating the table and column structure of what our database is going to look like. Let's start by creating a models file inside our to-do parent folder. And inside models, we're going to have to import some SQL Alchemy things. The first thing we're going to need to import is Boolean. We're then going to need to import column, integer, and string. We can do this by saying from SQL Alchemy, import Boolean, comma column, comma integer, and comma string. And now we also want to say from our database file, we want to import base. So if we remember in our database file, we have this base that we're going to be using in other files. So we're going to want to go back to our models and also import base. And now let's create our table. So our table is going to be our to-dos table. We can create a table within the SQLite database by just defining a class of to-dos, which extends base. So let's start by saying class to-dos base as the parameter. And inside to-dos, we want to do underscore underscore table name underscore underscore, which equals to-dos. This is where we define the actual table name. And now we want to define the columns within the table. So we're going to need an ID, which is going to be the primary key for the to-do. We're going to want a title, a description, a priority, and if the to-do is complete. So I'm going to start by saying ID equals column, and then inside the column, we're going to say this specific ID is going to be an integer, and the primary key is true, and the index is true. Title is going to equal column, but we're only going to say this title column is going to be a string. Description is going to equal column, which is of a string. Priority is going to equal column, which is an integer. Complete is going to be a column, which is of type Boolean. And here we're going to define the default value for complete, which is going to be false. So when a new to-do is created, it's automatically going to be false, which means it's not complete. So to recap this, we created a new class of to-dos, which extends base from our database. We defined table name, which name is going to be to-dos. We have an ID, which is a new column in the database, which is going to be an integer in the primary key. We have a new title, which is going to be a column in the database that's of string. Description, which is going to be a column of string. Priority, which is going to be a column of integer. And if the to-do is complete or not, which is going to be a Boolean. And every time a new to-do gets created, the default value for complete is going to be equal to false. This wraps up the lecture on us creating our models.py file, and I will see you in the next video.